We live right now? Well, old Zach right here, what was it, 3 years ago? I took Zach on the Letterman Show. Since 1990, I've been doing science demonstrations on the Letterman Show. And for the first 8 years, it was me. And then they wanted to have kids, so I trained kids to do science demonstrations on that for about the last 11 years. And Zach was one of them. And he happened to be in the audience today, and I really needed some help, somebody that was bright, probably brighter than me. So I saw Zach, and he was able to help. One of the things I have right here is a potato and a spud gun. And this is the show Boyle's Law. Boyle was an Irish chemist 200 and some years ago. How fortuitous that we have a potato. Boyle's Law shows that pressure and volume are inversely related. So I'm going to let Zach load. He's never done this, or he said he'd never done it, but it worked.
Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work?
No, it didn't work.
All right, now he's loaded that. As he decreases the volume,
where am I aiming?
Increases the pressure. I think I'd go up. Let's try it at the camera. No, it could be expensive. I'll go for the camera guy. He's easier to fix. I don't want to hit the lens because I know what a mess that is. And I could make a bunch of bad jokes like this spud's for you, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to hit your flash. I don't want to hit your light up there because you know what I'd end up with?
Oh God.
A spud light. But Zach, I want you to really knock the starch out of it this time. Put it over there. You really nailed her. All right. So anyway, trying to fuse science with humor and to try to make it interesting is one of the things that it was all about, and that's how we ended up at the Letterman Show. I'm going to let Zach describe what he did on the Letterman Show. It's really cool.
Well, on the Letterman Show, what I did was I walked across a pool full of cornstarch and water, which some people call it oobleck. It's just a non-Newtonian fluid, which means that if you hit it, then it will become solid because the polymers inside of it don't have time to move. But if you pick it up and kind of let it flow out of your hand, all the polymers will just let go of each other and it'll behave like a liquid.
And you know what, Zach? I think they're doing that same demonstration at MSI now, if I'm not mistaken. They have a big pool of it. I don't know if they allow people to walk through because if somebody gets stuck, it's not a pleasant scenario.
Have to take their shoes off first.
They'd have to take their shoes off and get about 3 or 4 people to pull them right out of that stuff, because it is a non-Newtonian fluid. I saw another cool thing you could do with it. You can actually pour it on a speaker.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on the internet.
Yeah. On the internet, yeah. It's kind of really cool, so I'm anxious to try that and maybe bring some students in a couple of years and do that one on the Letterman Show. Do you have any specific questions? Great. Really good.
Okay, so I'm here today at Family Science Days, and I'm going to talk to, what's your name?
Zach.
Hi, Zach. And we're going to ask you a few questions about science that we're asking a lot of teens around Chicago. Great. So our first question that I'm going to ask you is, I got to get back to the group, is have you ever met a real scientist?
Why, yes, I have.
Thanks, Zach. I'll pay you later.
And what does that scientist do?
He's a chemist.
What's your now? What is your favorite? Do you like science? Do you
Yeah.
study in school? What's your favorite subject in science? Study?
I'd actually probably have to say chemistry out of the things that I've done so far because I'm not too good at memorizing the equations in physics, and in biology there's just a whole bunch of stuff that again you kind of have to memorize and get down.
So if you could be any kind of scientist that you wanted to be, what kind of scientist would that be?
Again, probably a chemist because I have a sister that's also a chemist, so she could probably help me out.
Are you thinking about going into science?
Probably some sort of science-oriented career.
And do you think that it takes any special qualities to be a scientist, or can anybody be a scientist? What do you think of that?
Anyone can be a scientist, you just have to be curious.
Great, thanks so much for talking with us today.